Full transparency, I am not a YouTuber. I have been trying to figure out how to do this video um, in many different ways. I've been trying to think about the different intros that I could give it. I've been worried about whether or not if this little rinky audio that y'all would have would be, worth listening to. I have been trying to figure out the script and another script, and I I have decided that I'm going to create like nobody else is watching. I'm going to write like nobody else is reading. I'm going to dance like nobody sees me. I'm just going to do what it is that I love to do and act like there is no audience except for Jamia. Um, because I think that's the reason why, as the creator, I fell out of love with creating. All of that to say is that I've been reading this book by Julia Cameron called The Artist's Way. I saw that that's what all the girlies were reading. I saw that's what Dochi was reading. And I just decided, why not give it a try? And in The Artist's Way, one of the tasks that you're supposed to do is write 3 pages in the morning. It is a 12-week program that helps you reconnect with your inner child, the creative self, the it says a spiritual path to high creativity, and I resonate with a lot of it. I feel like a lot of these things were things that I was already doing or I already knew but needed to be reminded of, and to be more conscious or cognizant of when I get into a gloomy space. And being on week 3 now, one of the many things that Miss Cameron has been saying to do is to just create. Just create. Just do it. Just put it out. Why not? And yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna act like there is no audience because who cares? The world's already falling to shit anyways. I am creating this in 2025, um, in the midst of so February 2025, this is when this is released, so you can imagine why I feel that way. um and while I don't necessarily have a script, I will be touching on two different things that it is that I've been writing, or different things that I've been marinating on. Backstory, apologies, because obviously I don't have a script, but backstory is that I am a person that loves many mediums of art. I even have it up in my Notion that I describe myself as a strong believer of Nina Simone's philosophy that an artist's duty is to reflect the times. And for Nina, it was only natural for her to combine her love of art and passion for social matters. And for myself, I enjoy storytelling through various art mediums to digestibly present complex nuances and overwhelming data. And I do that. I do that. I do it so much that I decided that I wasn't going to formally get an education in art. I'm just a lover of art. It comes from the soul. I don't feel like while we need to live, and the way that we live is through money, we can't help but live in a capitalistic system. But I just didn't feel like I wanted to be a part of the system that monetizes off of people wanting to learn how to do something that comes from their soul. I hope that makes sense. So I didn't go to school for art. As a photographer, as a videographer, as a pianist, and I'm not a really great pianist, so I'm calling myself a pianist, and really I'm just a girl that loves to dibble on the piano, as a girl that plays the bass guitar, um, as a person that just loves to create and storytell and poetry and be and do and write. I love art and didn't go to school to formally do that. Instead, I did what I knew that I was always going to do, which is go to school for political science adjacent work because I care about social matters. I care about our society and how it grows and how we can help and how I can. I feel like editing Jamia here, guys, by the way. I feel like I never really got to the point that I was trying to get to, which is the reason why I needed to read The Artist's Way in the first place. And so I apologize for how messy this video is and all the different avenues that it is that I'm taking to do this. But yes, editing Jamia wants to make sure that she defines the purpose of this. And really, I don't want to do this here because I hate how grainy this video is. So, but honestly, why is the front-facing camera on my phone better than the camera on a dang near $2,000 machine that has 16 gigabytes of RAM and 1 terabyte worth of space? But they couldn't make it better than the camera that's on my phone. Apple, please. That's another story for a different day. The story that I'm here to tell, though, is the fact that I have an actual camera that has been sitting on my shelf looking like a dusty decoration that has gone untouched. Me and this baby are strangers. And that's depressing. And I'm also ashamed. But it is also inevitable because I was going to school and I need to give myself grace for that. As a mom of 2 who has a commute of an hour and a half to 2 hours, both there and back, plus being a military spouse who doesn't have the traditional sense of a support system, because I'm far away from my family, about 3,000 miles away from my family. It just makes sense that I would have to give up something because I can't juggle it all. And the thing that I had to give up was the version of myself that I love the most, which is the artist. And as I mentioned, I did not want to go to school for something that I already love to do, because then I felt like it would rob the fun. And this is no diss to anybody that like literally went to school for art or like creating. Great for you. I did not want to do that. I wanted to learn about something that I was passionate about, which was evidence-based practices on, or best practices on how to be a public servant. As somebody that grew up deeply entrenched and deeply rooted in needing service, welfare, and being homeless, and just being a part of all of the systems, child. I was a part of all of the systems. I saw so many problems, and I just wanted to make sure that I was giving back to the people that gave to me, or being, I don't know, a drop of water in this river of change, because those very systems that tried to help me continuously failed. Because of lack of funding, because of lack of inclusion, because of cultural incompetence, all things that are being taken away now, because of the criminalization of DEI, because of the demonization of anti-racism, and people not understanding what woke means. And I just feel like, or I felt actually, that I would run to academia, but run to getting a master's degree for job security so that I could be qualified to do the work. And now there's no more funding to do the work. Also, just funny that I thought that there was a place in America I would feel safe, because if you can't go to Bella Noche's,
It's upsetting me and my homegirl because we feel like, well, damn.
If you can't be a black woman in America, then where the heck can you be a black woman? Because it's definitely not in America. Yeah, with all of that being said, I've decided to return back to the self that I love, which is creating. But I wanted a low stakes way for me to get back into it, especially considering the fact that I still have a capstone that I have to do. I'm not fully done with my degree. I have one more quarter left, and 1.5 more quarter left, and I have no job security, and I don't know what's happening next. But I do know that I love my podcast, Poetry, Prose, and Politics. I do know that I love interviewing people. I do know that I love conversations. I do know that I love creating and releasing what it is that I create out into the world. And I decided that I'm going to dive back into it. And the season that I wanted to create is called The Fire Now. I keep hinting to it. And I'll talk more about that later in another one of these videos. But this particular video, I think, is like a journal, that a video journal, a video diary that is the prelude to me starting to create again, specifically for this project. And this long-winded video was really just me getting to what it was that I wrote down and how I wanted to share this journal entry that I wrote today. And I wanted this to be like low pressure so that I could just create what it was that I was going to create, upload it, and release it and be through with it, so that I can get back into the motion of just creating. And so I apologize about the whole informalness, but also too, my journals are normally messy and uncut and super unfiltered, and there's scratches that I put into it because it's a stream of consciousness. And so this video is kind of like a stream of consciousness, except a little bit more fun. So I think what it is that I want to do is share significant journal entries that will, I don't know, serve as the bones of what it is that I will create for this podcast season that I'm doing, as I begin to structure it more. And this first journal entry that I have is called The Fire Now. And I said that I feel like this season of my life that I'm in reflects Alice in Wonderland. I've already fell down the rabbit hole. I already told Morpheus I'd like to take the red pill. I feel like Dante having a conversation with Virgil. I feel like I'm in limbo, in a liminal space, familiar but also not at all. Like the only way through or the only way out is through. And I thought when I got to this point, I'd be ready. But I regret how much time I've wasted, and I hate that I didn't work out more or prepare in whatever way that one prepares for uncertainty. But I didn't, and I'm here now, and I'm not scared. I'm not even anxious, not even at all. Instead, I'm angry. And I think my anger is connected to this feeling of despair. Or at least that's the only thing that I can trace it back to. I feel despair because I know that I might fall and it's gonna hurt. And I'll have to get back up anyways, because that's how I was raised and that's all that I know. And then I go on to talk about how when I first finished reading The Fire Next Time by James Baldwin, I cried. And really I cried because I could never thank him for his work personally. Like I could never go up to him and tell him how I felt like someone saw me and how I saw him, and I got a glimpse into his life and the fact that he was able to verbalize this reality. He was able to give words to something that I was experiencing but didn't necessarily know how to back when I first read it. And so instead, what I'm doing is what Miss Nina Simone taught me, which is to reflect the times as an artist. And in the fire now, I plan on reflecting my time here, the same way that James Baldwin did. And it looks like the fire now that we're dealing with in America, the fire that I'm dealing with as a Black woman facing all these adversities of white supremacy culture holding supreme, of how I feel like I've already taken the red pill, how I feel like I've already been falling for miles and miles and miles now, like Alice did when she was falling through the center of the earth. How Dante must have felt when he was moving out of limbo into the first circle of hell. Yeah. Well, I've rambled for 15 minutes and this was really fun and relaxing. I think I'll do it again.